What's up? Honor Hammer 26 here, ready to give you my WWE Extreme Rules 2010 live pay-per-view review. First WWE show, and I've been a fan for 8.5 years. And I gotta say, overall, I had an amazing time. You might be able to tell I'm beat still from the show. I had my senior prom the night before. That was absolutely amazing as well, so I'm still recovering sleep from both those nights. And I'm sorry if this visual lackluster because of it, but, you know, if you're having such an amazing time while you're awake, why do you need to sleep all that much? So, I got to the show late. Not late. I got to the show, well, late after the doors opened. The doors opened, I think, about 6:15. I got to about 6:45. One thing that I noticed is that this arena, the First Man Arena, is one of the worst designed arenas I have ever heard of, much less been in. Wow. It was pretty bad. You had to, like, walk through tunnels that were just confusing. It was bad. That part of the experience was bad, but the show itself was amazing. And some things came off better. I hear it on pay-per-view. Some things came off better live, as always things do. We had a dark match. Kofi Kingston, Dolph Ziggler. Nothing special. You could tell they were holding back, honestly, because it was a pre-show match. But whatever. Then you got to one thing that I want to mention: the crowd. From where I was sitting. If you're trying to try and find me, don't. It's going to be extremely difficult. I'm in the last row of the second concourse. And I was going to take a video of the guy sitting next to me because he brought a sign the guy behind me can't see. He was sitting in the last row, so there was no one behind him. I was about to take a video of that, but I felt because it was only a kid. Didn't know any better, so, you know, whatever. The crowd, you could tell there were fans who tried to get this crowd hot, but a lot of the people didn't want to. I mean, from right where I was sitting, the crowd was, I mean, I was sitting in a good section for the crowd. A lot of fans wanted to get chants started and stuff. You could tell they were diehard fans. They weren't talking smart or anything, which is annoying, but they were just good fans who were trying to get chants started. But everybody around was like, we don't feel like chanting that. And it was like, just like we're chanting CM Punk, but we were chanting usually chanting for the heels, which might have been why. Because we were chanting for Punk, we chanted for Swagger, Sheamus, we chanted for Beth Phoenix, and Edge, and John Cena, but, you know, whatever. And we start off the show, I thought it was which we thought was going to be the street fight between Triple H and Sheamus, and I'm like, there's no way this is going on first. I said that to my dad, who I'm there with, I'm like, there's no way this is going on first. And then, of course, we got, and as soon as I heard Triple H music, I'm like, something's happening backstage, because there's no way he would ever come out first in a match like this. See backstage, he is knocked out. I'm like, yay. I thought that would have been it. He's off TV, whatever. Then they kept updating us throughout the night, and I was like, whatever. So then Sheamus came out, had this whole thing, which that'd be, they were going to run the Gauntlet. First team came out, Morrison, R-Truth. R-Truth was very over. I was surprised how over R-Truth was. Because maybe Baltimore's big on hip-hop, and maybe R-Truth, because R-Truth is a hip-hop gimmick. Maybe that's why. I didn't go that long. I mean, I expected a little bit of a weird ending to the first match, because it was a WrestleMania rematch. Then we got MVP and Mark Henry. It didn't last all that long, even though Big Show did look very impressive, and the one movie did to Mark Henry looked pretty impressive where I was sitting. And probably because they were two big men. And then we got the Hart Dynasty came right out and won. And I got to see Bret Hart live. But, you know, it wasn't all that much. It was okay. I mean, it could have went way better. I mean, it was okay for what it was, honestly. Then we got CM Punk and Rey Mysterio. I thought this would have been actually a little better than it was, but for what it was, I thought it was actually very, very good live. I thought it might have even reached the four-star level. I mean, I haven't seen the pay-per-view yet, but I thought live was excellent. Could have done without some of the stalling from Straight Society in the beginning, because live drew them a lot of heel heat, which I understand why they did it, but maybe even a little too much for my liking. Maybe because they're trying to the emphasis on the hair storyline, they're just going to do whatever it takes to help CM Punk. But, you know, I actually they could have done a little bit without that. But as a match itself, it was great. Actually, let me add this as a note. I called walking into the arena that Mercury was going to make his debut tonight, because there's a local indie in Baltimore called Maryland Championship Wrestling, and one of the most famous guys to come out of that indie was Mercury, and I saw the MCW truck at the event, so I'm like, he might debut, and then he did. So it was a very, very good match live. Then we got JTG and Shad Gaspard. Kind of surprised it went over. It didn't go all that long, but it was okay. It was all right for what it was. I mean, I liked the tag team Gauntlet a little more in this match. I mean, the crowd didn't give two shits about this match. I didn't give two shits about this match, to be honest with you. But, you know, it was okay for what it was. Then we got Swagger and Orton. The crowd was really dead for this match. They weren't into Swagger. They were into Orton a lot. He was over as a face. So that was okay for what it was. Nothing really besides that. This came off. I think this came off a little better on pay-per-view. This was kind of boring live. So I thought it was just okay to good, you know. But it was just okay. I thought Swagger really didn't deliver in this match. I thought it was good, and because it was a Screamless match, I kind of used weapons a little more. But whatever. Then we got Sheamus and Triple H. Sheamus came out. I'm like, oh god, here we go. I'm like, oh shit. Then Triple H came out. This just long, drawn-out match, and I'm like, oh, god damn. I mean, the match itself was pretty good. I mean, if they had done that match as the opener and then done like an injury angle afterwards, it would have come off so much better. But I don't know. I mean, apparently this came off way crappier on pay-per-view than it did live. I mean, Triple H. I mean, a lot of people were into Triple H, which just made me kind of. I was like, oh my god, this is. So, it was not like it was nauseating bad, but it was like could have done without this. I mean, you add some time to other places on the pay-per-view where I mean, you could have given the Gauntlet a little more time. You could have given. I mean, personally, I would like to see the women's match go a little bit longer. Edge and Chris Jericho really didn't have to go all that much longer, but you know, maybe make the pay-per-view a little shorter, give a little time to Cena Batista. I don't know. You make that go even 30 minutes, you know, because it's maybe they're probably their last match ever between the two biggest stars since the Attitude Era. But you know, a little gripe there. So that was just Sheamus Triple H was just okay. Beth Phoenix, Michelle McCool was very surprisingly good in my opinion. This came off very, very good live. Best women's match in WWE in some time. Probably since Night of Champions last year with Michelle McCool and Melina. It's probably the best match since then. It came off very good live. Beth Phoenix was very, very over. So that was very cool to see. And even though the involvement with Vicky Guerrero and Layla was just okay, you know, didn't take away all that much from the match. It was pretty good. Then we got Edge and Chris Jericho. The beginning portion of this was it's just okay. I mean, they were stalling a little bit. I mean, but once it got going, it got excellent. Especially there was one at one spot live with the springboard code breaker. That was that nice seeing that live because I got a perfect view of that live. That was great. I couldn't believe it. It was absolutely amazing. But it was very, very good once it got going. So overall, it was a pretty good match. I expected actually a little more out of it, maybe a little less stalling at the beginning, but it was still very good. I liked it a lot. But even though I liked Punk and Mysterio a little more. Then we got the match of the night, by far, live, was John Cena versus Batista. Live, this was absolutely amazing. I don't know, apparently it didn't come off as well on pay-per-view, but live, I thought this reached the 4.5 star level being there, at least. Or probably was around the 4.5 star level, but the highest rating I saw in review was 4.25. So, you know, maybe it didn't come off as well on pay-per-view, but they had the same thing with the WrestleMania match. But this probably was even better than that live, because they had weapons in it, Last Man Standing works a little better into both Batista and John Cena's offense. That one spot with the attitude adjustment through the announcer table live was just, seeing that live just made my night. I didn't care what else happened on the show. I mean, this match corrected all the wrong on the show for me. It made it a great experience being there live. And just, wow. And a lot of people want to know how the tape thing came off live. Here's why they did that. I noticed that every single person, basically under the age of 16, thought it was the greatest thing ever. Like, oh, John Cena is so smart. So that's why they did that. I noticed that, and about half the crowd was kids. I mean, there was probably about a quarter diehard, a quarter just adult, regular fan, and then like half kids. It's probably the crowd in Baltimore. It was one thing because there were a ton of kids there. Like, around me was all kids, pretty much. I was one of the oldest people in my row. I was probably the oldest person that wasn't, like, over the age of 30. So, you know. Overall, this show live, I had an awesome time. My first WWE event. I'd love to do another show, honestly. I had an awesome time. And, you know, overall, this show live is pretty damn good. You know, solid pay-per-view from WWE. I'll see you guys later.